So, I'm back. So yeah, that's that's really the gist of it. So I am going to start just going live whenever, because I have a whole lot of stuff to talk about. I got stuff written down everywhere about stuff that I was going to talk about and things like that. But we're human, and yes, I let people. Um, I don't want to say get in my head, but I've let people irritate me to the point where um, I don't come on. And I can't do that because somebody gonna have something to say either way. So that's where we are. Hold on, let me turn this a little bit. So really, that's where we are. I am just gonna start doing whatever, whenever, because we gotta grow. In order to grow, we gotta learn. Oh no. So for starters, just like a whole bunch of folks, I'm gonna say this: go vote. Vote in this election. This is, um, I don't want to use the word detrimental, but yeah, this is this is some serious business. Like for real, some serious business. Like this is, man, we really have to, especially for us, we gotta we gotta get out here and vote. I'm not saying what party people gotta be a part of. Uh, that's your business. That's your prerogative. If you're independent, that's fine. If you are uh, a Democrat, that's fine. Hell, if you're a Republican, that's fine. But for us as a community, for us as a community, we have to. For us as a community, we really, really, really have to vote uh, this election. Um, it is imperative that you vote, even if you don't like neither one of them. I'm gonna keep saying it. Even if you don't like neither one of them yourself personally, vote for someone who's going to do for your family or do for your kids. Like, all of that means something. And if we put Mr. Donald Duck Trump in, we in trouble. Like Vice President said, it's either freedom or chaos. And I myself will choose freedom. That's not being shady. That's not being no kind of way. But I personally will choose freedom. Who doesn't want freedom? Sorry about this background noise y'all hear. Who would not choose freedom? We've heard we've heard him talk here lately on a couple platforms. He's sounds a mess. Um, we have seen what he will do, what he has done, and me personally, listen, again, if you don't usually vote, please vote. Like people are always, I hear people say, I ain't never voted. It don't matter either way. Well, that would be some of the reason why some things have not changed. Um, is because you didn't vote. So you can't really talk about what you have not contributed. Now, there has been elections where I didn't care for either one of them. So I just voted straight Democrat. Why? Because that's the most likely to help us. You know what I'm saying? So, uh, um, so yeah, I really want to put that out. I'm gonna put that out every time I'm either on my platform, somebody else's platform. It doesn't matter whose platform it is. I'm going to stress voting. Vote, vote. If this is your first time voting, if this is your kids' first time voting, whatever, stress the importance of it. Please express to them the importance of it. Is there some negativity? Absolutely. Nobody is perfect. I've seen the commercials where they're talking about Vice President Harris is not qualified and she put people in jail for no reason and all of these negative things. But they don't say anything about the positive things. And that's the part that gets me because they can see all of this negativity in her and what she don't do and all of this, but we don't. One thing I can say about her that I like, of course, everything does not have to be negative, but I haven't seen, unless I've been missing it, any negative um, ads from her against uh, the Orange Man. I just haven't. Not saying that there won't be, because there's a lot of stuff to say. But right now, at this point, she hasn't said anything. And I commend her for that. I do, I promise I do. Um, so I just want to I just wanted to say that about the voting. Please vote, y'all. Please vote. Even if you have somebody in your family that don't usually vote, just tell them, hey, come on, we about to go vote. Buy them lunch or something, or dinner, or get them a bottle of wine or something. Just encourage them to vote. Because if we don't, baby, listen, we are in for it. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Um, so yeah. So let's get into why I came. Because I've been hearing so many things about this Funky Dineva and interview with Carlos King. Um, and the response from Armand Wiggins. So I was gonna play some of it, but my hands, I can't do that right now. But I did watch. Oh, here we go. I did watch the Armand Wiggins interview. I mean, I'm sorry, the Funky Dineva interview, and a lot of people who say that they didn't like it. First of all, they probably didn't like it because one, they don't like Funky Dineva, which I happen to love, and they don't like Carlos King. Now, your personal feelings about uh, either one of them is irrelevant. The interview within itself, I think, was good. I really do. I really think that it was a good interview. Now, I will say, when during an interview, most times you don't know what questions or statements the interviewer is going to make or ask. So you kind of gotta, you know, be ready. Now, there are some people who want to know what they're going to ask, or they may say, hey, can I talk about this? And if you say, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Turn this way down. If you say no subject is off limits, then guess what? No subject or topic is off limits. And that's just that. Um, so from the interview, it doesn't look like Funky gave any limits to what could be talked about. So Carlos asked what he wanted to ask, and Funky answered like he kept saying, in my opinion, this is how I feel. It's not concrete, um, but that's how he felt, and um, we can't be mad at him about feeling any type of way. That's just not how it works. So uh, when he was asking questions, you know, Funky answered it. That's sorry. That's what an interview is. You get asked questions, and then you answer them. Now, if it was something that he did not want to talk about, he could have said, nah, let's skip that. Or let's go past that. You know what I'm saying? So we can't be mad at um, Funky for answering questions that was asked. That's dumb. Like, that's real dumb. Um, he asked him, of course, about his childhood. Everybody doesn't have the same childhood. You may have been or your parent may have been okay with you uh, being a part of the LGBTQIA plus community. So you didn't have uh, you didn't have any backlash. You didn't have any problems. Everything was kumbaya. Your parents accepted you. Your family accepted you. So you had nothing to go through. But for those of us, um, mainly those that families are um, churchgoers or saved or however you want to label it, we have a different journey. We get ostracized. We get kicked out of the house. Sometimes we have to, you know, become a part of a house, which is in the gay community. It's individuals who families don't agree with their lifestyle. Some parents put their kids out. So we gravitate towards people that we are familiar with or that have gone through the same thing that we've gone through or going through. So if you haven't been through that, you can't really say anything about it because that's not your journey. He told how his father, how his father apologized to him because he felt like as a father, he could have gone through that with his son. And then his mother, in the beginning, was like, I'm not doing that. And she asked the question that a lot of parents ask. I like boiling hot dish water. So she asked the question that my mother asked. What did I do? What happened to you? Did somebody touch you? And that's not always the case. Sometimes it's just who you are. People gonna say, "Oh, you can't be born gay." That might not be your story, but some people are. We're not. Uh, we're not inside of the gene characteristics when they're being formed when we're in our mother's womb. That's just how we are. That's like you can see a little boy walking down the street and be like, "Ooh, he gonna be gay. Ooh, look at him. He act like a girl." So when they get 15, 16, 12, whatever, and they say, "Hey, I think I like boys," or "I think I like girls," anything of the same gender, then we got to start praying and slobbing and spitting and speaking in tongues and shut-ins and all of that. And all of that's not every, like if it's not your story, you can't say anything about it. But for those who have a story about coming out or their lifestyle, you can't ridicule them or be like, "Oh, well, honey, you didn't, honey, that wasn't." Like, tell your story. And if your story don't have all of that, then hey, kudos to you. Because I tell you, it's a journey. It's a journey. It's a journey times two if you have spiritual family members. Because first thing they gonna say, that ain't of God. You know God ain't pleased. When in reality, you're the one that's not pleased. Don't don't blame that on God. Don't put how you feel on God. to try to scare whomever um, into being what you think they should. Um, so again, to those who don't have that story, I swear I commend you. But to those who have that story, don't try to downplay what someone else has been through because you didn't go through it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not fair. It's not right. And I've been hearing people say, oh, you ain't, oh, that's messy, and oh, Carlos knew better. And here's the thing, even if you're friends with someone, you still have to ask the questions that people want to know or that you hear people talk about. That's the reason for an interview. I thought it's to ask questions the people want to know. Because you already know it. Because y'all Judies. So, you know uh, the story of that person and all of that. So, I think personally, Carlos did a good job with asking some of those questions. Because again, I'm sure a lot of it he already knew. I can promise you, he already knew. So when people get on and they're asked certain questions, or you know, that's just the interviewer's job. Is to ask what the people want to know. Um, and from what I can see, that's what Carlos did. Um, he talked about as a child, and a lot of us are guilty of this, so it's not like, oh my God, he dated older people. When I was in middle school, my boy, I can't even call him my boyfriend because I knew then that I like girls, but he was giving out money, so um, he had already graduated from high school, but that was still my boyfriend, or whatever you want to call it. So it happens to us. I dated a girl that was older than me. And as kids, when you date somebody and they're older than you, it's kind of like you know what I'm saying? You in your feelings. You feel froggy, or you feel you feel some type of way because you're dating an older person who has a car. They can come pick you up. They can bring you lunch. Like all of that kind of stuff. We as kids, we like that. You know what I'm saying? So no, he didn't know when he was a teenager dating older men that it was considered molestation. You know? So as he got older, it's like, oh, well, wait a minute. You know, a lot of men don't know that or don't consider that as being taken advantage of. Because you're in the, oh, I got an older person, or I'm dating an older person, or they have a house and you can go to it. So in those moments, you don't realize that what's going on is wrong. At 20 something years old, you're dating a man that's twice your age, literally. You don't think of it as this is not right. You loving it. You know what I'm saying? You're actually loving it. So no, you don't tell. No, you don't turn them in. And then, truth be told, if you think about it, our great great grandparents, I promise you, your great great grandfather was way older than your great great grandmother. I can promise you that. They was having kids at 12, 13 years old. Especially in the South, if you didn't have a child by the time you was at least 15, they was looking at you like you was crazy. Because how you don't have kids? Something is wrong with you if you don't have a kid by a certain age. So I can see where, you know, he didn't think nothing of it. Because you want to be hot stuff. You want to be the one to be around your friends like, ooh, my hands. Or my girlfriend is. So I thought that that was good. Uh, he talked about his journey as to how he got to where he is. And it's growth. He started off with the wigs and just doing little, you know, just doing little commentary, talking about stuff. Um, he was talking about people. And again, as you grow and you learn, you find your niche. And talking about exposing people, it's not always tea. Like for real, for real. Exposing people, you have to think of how you would feel if someone exposed you. If somebody told your tea, if somebody told your business, how you would feel. And then that's how you move. If you don't want to be talked about and your business told, don't do it to nobody else. And 9 times out of 10, it won't be done to you. Now, you do have some people that just come up with stuff and just want to have something to say about you. Because as content creators, that's one of the things that we do is talk about other people. Now, there's a difference in talking about somebody, um, mentioning things that are already out, and being uh, exposed. Those are two different things. I don't agree with exposing anybody. I know a lot. I know a lot of stuff about people. Like I know, ooh, I know a lot about people. And my loyalty and my um, I just can't. Like I can be on people's lives and they can be talking about somebody that I know personally. I either don't say nothing, or if it's something that's out and it's incorrect, I will correct them. Um, you don't have to believe me if you don't want to, but if you're talking about somebody and I know that it's wrong, I'm gonna be like, yeah, nah, that's not how that went, or oh, that's not what she said, or that's not what she did, because I know. I'm sorry, I have asthma. And this heat from this stove is kind of getting to me. Excuse me. So, holy shoes. It's a difference in talking about people and talking about people. There is a difference. Um, Now to get to this Armand Wiggins thing. uh, I didn't see too many things about what Funky said about Armand is. And again, this is how he felt. This was his feelings towards it. So he gave a lot of accolades to Armand. He said how good he was and how he was it and how he could be the next, which is true. Um, TGIF, I didn't start watching. I was only watching because of Funky, and then it would all depend on what they were talking about. Because I personally felt it was late, it was boring, but hey, they kept getting views. A lot of the viewers did come from Funky. We can't. I mean, let's be real. Let's call a spade a spade. You can't take that from them because that's true. I love soy sauce. I put soy sauce on almost everything. It just makes it taste so much better. I'm just frying some fish and some potatoes. Um, he talked about Mona, like that whole thing, and people don't know that in this industry there are a lot of promises made. There's a lot of things that's done for free. People think because you on TV, you got a big house and you got all this money, or because you won something off of a show, a game show, American Idol, Sunday's Best, all of that. People think that because you won, everything is all roses now. You got this and you got that, and you can go here and you can go there. When a lot of things when you first start is promotion. You pay for everything. Now you might have some people who feel like, okay, yeah, you come in here and they might offer to pay such and such and such. But for the most part, that's like if a person put out a CD or now a drop of whatever it is. Their first shows are promotional. If they got a gig, a 10 city gig, I can guarantee you that 8 of them, they ain't getting man money. You don't you don't get no money for that. Like literally, you get no money. They're trying to get you out there and get you seen. So that's why you're going to all of these cities and you're touring and you're doing all of this. It's because they want people to see you. But you don't get paid for that stuff. Especially not a first time. Nah. Ain't, ain't no money in that. And a lot of people don't know that they until they're there. They may feel like, oh, I won American Idol. I'm about to be rich. Sure. They give you that card. People don't know that you have to get your own insurance. Sometimes you gotta pay taxes. Like all of that is your responsibility. Yeah, you won it. That's just like award shows. Just because you won an award, you got to get your own name put on the award. Bet you didn't know that. These people that get these awards and they be holding them up, you have to get your own name put on there. Your name not on there because they really don't know who won. So they're not going to do 6 Grammys or 6 Stellar Awards or how many ever is in the category with everybody's name on it. And then once that one person wins, now you got these other 4 awards sitting with other people's names on it. That's not how that works. That's not how that works. The Hollywood uh, Walk Stars, that's paid for. People be wondering, I wonder why such and such don't have their name on the Hollywood. You have to pay for that. That ain't free. They don't just say, oh, you know what? You sold 1,000,000 copies. We're going to put your name on the star and sit. Nah. You have to pay for that. When people have streets and stuff named after them, you better believe they paid for it. I promise you they paid for it. That stuff ain't free. Honey, that stuff is not free. But enough of that. So let's get to our mind. As soon as our mind came on, he went off. He went off. Some people will say it's warranted. I think it could have been eased into, but hey, who are me? That's just my opinion. It's like he has his opinion about the Funky Dineva Carlos King interview. Um, which Funky did say that in something, and this is why listening is key. He said that in something could be more mature. Which, coming from an older person, speaking on a younger person, we're going to say that's just like I'm 49. My son is 27. My daughter is 20. Even though they're grown and they're both doing very, very well. Some things I think are immature because I'm older. I'm seasoned. That's something that you say to younger people. Grow up. You need to grow up. That's because we've been there. We've done that. So we understand. Oh, the sun is running. And we understand. So I don't think he was saying it in a negative way that he is immature or he needs to be more mature. That's just how he feels. And then you come right on and go off, which he could say, that's the immature shit that I'm talking about. And you really have no leg to stand on. I understand, you know, he might have been mad and felt a certain type of way, but at the end of the day, from the things that I was saying, I don't think, okay, that's that. He first said that he didn't watch it. He just saw some clips. But from the things that you were saying, love, you watched it. What do people say something like that? Like, well, I didn't watch it, but this is what, you know you watched it. You know you watched it. You watched it. You watched it while it was live from a dummy page. I don't have time to make dummy pages. Like, it takes too much work to create a whole nother page with a whole nother profile with like it just takes too much. You got to remember passwords and you got to put up pictures and like all the child. I listen. If I can't say it as me, like they say it with your chest stand 10 toes down, I just ain't gonna do it. I just ain't gonna do it. He said that Funky should have came to him and told him because they first he said they don't talk, then he said they do talk, then he said Funky didn't tell him nothing, then he said Funky told him. Like, that's just too much. Like I if I say I didn't watch it, 9 times out of 10, I did not watch it. What I will see is a screenshot or somebody recorded, they send it to me. Yeah, I see that. But I don't just go and watch the lives of people that I don't like. I just don't. I don't really even go back and forth with people that I don't like. Like if you catch me on a certain day and I feel a certain type of way about what you said, I probably will say something. But most of the time, like they say, what you eat don't make me shit. How you feel about me or who you feel I am or not, I could care less because I know who I am. I know what I've done. And that's all that really matters. Like the people that I was with, they know. Like that's all that matters. What someone else feels about what I've done or haven't done. If you don't want to believe it, don't. If you believe it, great. You were there, so you know. You know what I'm saying? So, him saying that I didn't watch it, but you sure knew what time steps to go to. Like, uh, Living Color, but you ain't heard that from me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you sure knew exactly what time stamps to go to. Because you were sure skimming right on through them. But I don't think he really listened. Um, listen. I think he listened to defend or he listened to rebuttal because he said that some of the things that he did was immature and he didn't agree with. You come right on throwing a temper tantrum like a kid, which is immature, which solidified or stamped what Funky said. He didn't say that you, in fact, were immature. Um, and quite honestly, all of us, even us with our grown selves, do immature shit at times. We do. We really, really do. So, in that aspect, he kind of proved him right. Um, and I swear, oh my God, our mind said, I'm immature. I'm supposed to be mature. Like, I need to grow up. He said that so many times. I started counting, then I stopped because I was like, if he say this word one more time, my immature ass, I, I need to grow up very much. And it's like, sir, that's not what he was saying. If you took that one thing that he said, and you just ran it, you start, oh, what about L? And like, come on now. You're you're you are showing people what he said. You're acting like a kid. Now we all have feelings. We have different types of feelings. When he started crying, it was like, if you were not crying about what Funky Dineva said, you were crying because of the how you were treated at Box Stove, and that can or could have been a lie. Obviously, it was. If you are smiling in people's faces and trying to make things right and trying to have not have a hostile environment and people are constantly picking on you and doing this and doing that and doing this and doing that, and you have to put your game face on and just take it. I can imagine that can be a lot. Funky said he gave him some tools um, to use, who to, who not to fool with. Um, and I believe that he only said that because he was there. That's like you knowing something about somebody or a certain situation, and then somebody that you know is getting ready to go into that situation, and you just let them go in blind. That's whack. So we come to find out that Funky did tell Armand some things. Now, how you take it is how you take it. like how you take it is how you take it. How you use it also matters. So if he told you not to mess with Jim Bob and Keisha, and you went right in fooling with Jim Bob and Keisha, what you get after that is really your own fault. Now I am the type of person that just because somebody doesn't like somebody doesn't mean that I'm automatically not going to like them because they haven't done anything to me. So I'm not going to stop liking you because somebody else doesn't like you. Now, when it comes to my family, depending on the situation, when it comes to my mate, again, depending on who the person is. Now, if I don't know you and you've done something to her and she ain't fooling with you, I ain't fooling with you. Ain't no ifs, ands, buts, babies, don't try, don't think about it. Like, no, I'm not. You know? So he didn't have to do that, but he did. But he just went so, like, the immature statement. I think once Armand heard the immature thing, everything else just went out the window. Because he gave him more compliments than insults. But he just went off just all kind of D's and hoes and up you and like all of that. He could have called me. He didn't know what Carlos was going to ask him. Of course, he knew the Fox Soul thing was going to come up because that's a part of his journey. But he didn't know the questions that he was going to ask him. But he answered what he felt at that time. So was he supposed to say, hold on, Carlos, let me call Armand real quick and tell him I'm about to say that he immature? That happened in the moment. And I'm sure that if you had talked to him, well, you say you don't talk to him, but then you said whatever. If you had talked to him in one of the times that you all had talked and said, Funky, do you think I'm immature? I'm pretty sure Funky would have been like, no. Because when you do such and such, or when you did X, Y, and Z, that was. But if the opportunity never presented itself, how would he tell you that? I'm about to go on Carlos' team, and I'm about to tell him that you immature. How you like? He just was. You must have been feeling some type of way all the time. No, that's not necessarily true. I know some people who I think are immature, but when I talk to them, I don't be like, you know what? I'm going to tell you how immature you are. Like, that don't usually happen. If we're having a conversation and the person asks me, hey, do you think this was childish? Or hey, do you think this was good? Or hey, do you think this was good? That's my time to say, well, you know what? About that. Blah, 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 blah. But he took the immature comment and just X'd out everything else. Well, what about Al? Well, that's your friend, so you, which everybody knows that if you have a friend, depending on what type of friend it is, you're loyal to a fault. And if they're in a situation with someone else, yes, they're going to favor their friend. Why? That's what friends do. That's what family does. Like in one of my cousins, well, a few of my cousins, if we were somewhere and somebody was like, oh, I might not say nothing right then. But when we get to our destination or We talk on the phone later. I'm like, okay, so Trev, what was that all about? And then I have cousins that if somebody says something about them or they did something or they were shady about something, even though I know that 9 times out of 10 they tell them the truth about it because that's how they are. I'm not going to say it to that person. That's what loyalty is. People don't know what loyalty is anymore. Right? Like if you was wrong and you my family member that I fool with for real, yeah, we'll talk about it later. I'm not about to let them talk about you. Like if I'm talking to somebody and I'm going off about somebody in my family or something, you be quiet and listen. Unless I ask you something. Because I can call them all kind of whatever and that mother and that. You don't say nothing. Uh-uh. Don't you say nothing because then I'm going to cuss you out. Right? Exactly. Yeah, I'm not going to just let you talk about them. Even if I'm in the middle of talking about them, I'm going to be like, hold on. What you say? But we don't have that type of loyalty around anymore. People just talk about people and, oh, that's my brother, that's my sister, and time either they do something you don't like or say something you don't like, oh, they about to air out all your business. You wasn't my friend to begin with if you're gonna do that. You wasn't my family to begin with if you was gonna do that. You were just waiting for the opportunity to use what you know